Hello, everybody. Welcome back to stage 6 of the Winter Solstice Championship for the women's. For Las Colombias team, starting off, we have Dorency Gonzalez, Sora, and Rosalina. For Team Strong Girls, we have Faye Faber, Fiona Schroeder, Lisa Bromo, and Mandana Decan. For Spartan Obstacles, we have Catherine Fuhrer, Los Norale, Carupe, Maria Jose, and Andrea Azate. And for Soul Cycle, all that's left right now is Sandra Molina Valencia. And for the individuals, we have Kimberly Miller and Sofia Estrada. Today's course, 35 kilometers, 7 segments, with the last 2, of course, being 5Ks each. So the first 5 here are going to be 1 kilometer segments with a total elevation gain today of 437 meters. The last bit of this race is going to be, again, as usual, a nice little punchy climb for the ladies today. It's going to see who's been holding out the best so far. This is the 6th stage, like I've said, so the ladies might be getting a little bit tired now. But I think it's going to be a pretty exciting race. As you can see, the elevation starting off at 167. They're going to have a nice downhill all the way down to about segment 5. So after segment 5, about halfway through is when they'll start to make their little incline, and we'll start to see some watts go up. So we're just about a minute away from the start of the stage 6 women's race, and we'll go ahead and let them get warm up, and we'll come back for the start. So just under 10 seconds now until the ladies go, and they're starting to warm up, get their watts up and ready. We'll see how we get off the line here for the start of stage 6. Everybody's off to a really good pace, pumping some good watts now, 400, 500 range. At the front of the pack, it's going to be Lisa and Fiona. Of course, that's going to be changing now as everybody's still in a really nice tight group. Everybody's just going to have to get settled into their pace. So the ladies have a few kilometers to get settled into their pace before they start segment 1, which comes at the 2K mark and goes to 3K. But as we can see now, everybody's watts are pretty low. Nobody's making really any attacks as I would expect they would not be. So looking at the overall rankings here on the right side, you saw we have Spartan Obstacles. They are in the overall classification here, it looks like, with Los Norale up in the yellow jersey. And then with Las Colombias and Strong Girls there. I think the notable names to watch today is going to be Catherine and Faye Faber. Faye Faber has been putting on an excellent championship so far. And we can see the pace here on the left side of the screen. Now everybody's starting to creep up into the 200 watt range, getting ready for this first segment start. You see Faye Faber keeping her position well defined within the pack, and that's basically what she needs to do today, as she's always done, to stick with the pack, end up with a good overall result at the end of the stage. And the start to segment 1 is within sight now for the ladies. And we're gonna have to go ahead and see who's gonna be making an attack for that. So now through the start gate, they're well underway. The watts are starting to creep up. They're at 38 Ks per hour. And this is only a 1 kilometer stage, so it's going to be a pretty quick one. I would like to say midway through here, we'll start to see some, maybe see some breakaways and attacks. As usual, Milena Valencia in the 600 watt range, trying to claim this stage. The first segment, 46 kilometers per hour, 3.7 watts per kilo. She went on a very early attack here. You can see the main pack really isn't doing much. They're just kind of hanging out, but Milena Valencia, she's a fan of her segment wins. And she should be, because it's $250 for every segment win. And off the front, we have Carupe, Sofia, and Milena Valencia creeping into the screen now. For Carupe and Sofia, it might be a little of a late attack. Too little, too late. Milena Valencia still putting out good watts, hanging with them, but she had a really early and strong attack. If I was a betting man, she will be the one to take stage 1. Pushing over 600 watts now. 730 watts now. That's just insane numbers. Coming up to the finish line of segment 1. She's already put 2 seconds on Sofia and Carupe with that attack. So now Melinda is through. Sofia and Carupe are through. And let's take a look. Yeah, with a time of 1 minute and 34 seconds so far, Milena Valencia is the winner of segment 1. No surprise there. And second place, Sofia Estrada, and third, Carupe. Again, for Colombia, making a very, very strong showing. So now they have a couple kilometers, just kind of chill, hang out, cool down the legs a little bit. Segment 2 will start at kilometer number 5. So now we're approaching segment number 2 at the 5K mark. They're just about 400 meters away. They can see the start, and we'll start to see who is going to set themselves up to take segment 2. We'll see if Melina Valencia has anything left in her tank after that very impressive stage or segment win. So now everybody rolling through the start of segment 2. Again, it's another 1 kilometer segment here. Pack's cruising around 36, 37 kilometers per hour. Watts are starting to pick up. Looks like Sophia's trying to make a little tiny breakaway. Nothing too crazy just yet. Sophia now really pushing up, getting up into the high 300 watts here, trying to make a really good gap between herself and the rest of the pack. They all rolled through the line together for the most part, so this could be a victory for Sofia Estrada. Just under 300 meters to go to the end of segment 2. Don't see really any major attacks from any of the other ladies just yet. They're all just hanging out still. Faye Favors making an attack now, pushing over 600 watts just behind her. Might be too little too late. Approaching the checkpoints here. So it's Sophia and Faye, followed by everybody else. We'll see how they come through. So it is going to be Sofia Estrada at the time of 1 minute and 25 seconds, 1 second ahead of Faye Faber, and 10 seconds over Catherine from Switzerland, Lisa Bramo, Fiona Schroeder, Melina Valencia, and Mandana Decan. So everybody just kind of stick together on this one, maybe use this segment as a cool down. And that worked to Sophia's favor. So congratulations, Sophia, on taking segment 2. So now after segment 2 is done, segment 3 is coming up at the 8 kilometer mark. The pack will need to rejoin. Faye Faber, she's looking really good so far today. We're only 6.5 kilometers into this 35K stage 6 today. But she's looking good. She's where she needs to be. In the overall standing, she's sitting in a really decent spot. But she has some tough girls up there with her. Lisa Bromell, Catherine, Kimberly. These are all very, very strong names. So let's go ahead and let the ladies get settled in here and check back in the next kilometer or so for the start of segment 3. So now we're approaching the start of segment 3 here. Ladies are still in a nice pack. The only person who's not in that pack is Melina Valencia. She is at the far back in the 180 watt range, but I think she might start to attack this one. Front of the pack's pushing around 240 watts, 37 kilometers per hour. Melina Valencia is on an attack now, pushing over 500 watts, 50 kilometers per hour. Might just be to build up that gap to re-reach the group here. And then off the front again, we have Sofia Estrada with Fiona and Kimberly right by her side there. Fiona's not going to let Sofia get too far. Hanging on her wheel really well. She's going to go ahead and make the pass around Sofia. With 500 meters to go, Melina Valencia is on an attack now to try to catch up to Sofia and Fiona. And she is caught and passed Sofia. And Fiona as well. So putting on a massive attack now, over 580 watts. 48 Ks per hour. Just under 100 meters to go to the finish of segment 3. Through the line, Melina Valencia, followed by Fiona Schroeder. And it looks like Carupe. And there we have it. I don't think those top 3 results are going to change there. So taking stage or segment 3 win is going to be Melina Valencia for Soul Cycle with a total time of 1 minute and 19 seconds, 6 seconds ahead of Spartan Obstacles rider Carupe, followed by Strong Girls rider Fiona Schroeder. So another major congrats to Melina Valencia, sneaking up and taking some segment wins today. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break here, and we'll rejoin the ladies before they start segment 4 at kilometer 11. So we're just under 500 meters away from the start of our segment number 4. It's going to be the second to last 1 kilometer segment of the day. We saw a little bit earlier Sophia was making a little bit of a lead out there from the pack, but then everybody's just kind of rejoined. So everybody's just sitting nice and tight together. So now through the start gate of segment number 4, nobody's really making any strong efforts just yet. $500 to go now. Still no real strong attacks going on. Watts are increasing, 38 Ks per hour. Now we have Faye going off the frontier, pushing over 600 watts, getting up into 50 kilometers per hour, making a mad dash to the line under 200 meters to go. Followed by Dorancy. Nice to see her up in there. Very strong effort from these two. Looks like they're the only two battling it out right now. Fiona sitting back there just fine. Through the line they come. So far it's Dorancy, followed by Faye Faber. And there's our results as of now. So first place, Dorancy Gonzalez for Las Colombias team, 1 minute and 26 seconds, just 1 second ahead of Faye Faber, and a total of 8 seconds ahead of Fiona Schroeder for Team Strong Girls. Team Strong Girls putting on a really good show for this whole series right now, but major congratulations to Dorancy for securing the segment 4 win. So it looks like Dorancy is off the front a little bit. She's put about 4 seconds between herself and what is now the chase pack. Her watts aren't incredibly high, so I don't know if that's going to stick. Don't know if she's even intended to do that. She may have just been settling in her pace. And now the gap is down to 2 seconds, so I think she's going to get caught up pretty soon. And that's okay. I think it's a little too early to be making any solo breakaways. We're not even halfway through this 35-kilometer stage 6 yet. So I think it's okay if she gets sucked up by the pack here, get some drafting, cool down a little bit. Maybe we'll see an attack from her on segment 5, which starts at 14 Ks. So just under a kilometer away from segment number 5, the last 1 kilometer segment of the day. Then we go into 6 and 7, which will be 5K segments. So now we're coming through the start gate for segment number 5. Everybody's still in a really nice tight pack, utilizing each other's draft. But one to look out for is going to be Karupe. She has just put on a major attack as she rolled through the start gate here, catching the pack as we speak. And she's going to go ahead and blaze right past them, pushing almost 500 watts there at one point, 47 kilometers per hour. She's on a slight incline right now. They're about 106 meters above sea level. So it's relatively flat here, but she is going to be getting some resistance from the incline. Looks like some people in the pack are starting to answer the attack a little bit. Faye Faber at the front of the group right now. But I think she's just securing her position for the overall stage today, as she should be. But of course, it's nice to get a couple segment wins, get a couple extra dollars in your pocket. Karupe now just 300 meters out from the finish line of segment 5. Still pushing over 450 watts. Coming through now, yeah, she's put about 9 seconds, 10 seconds on the chase pack here. We'll have to wait for the other ladies to roll through and have a look at the end results. Yeah, and so far it is going to be Karupe from Spartan Obstacles with an overall time of 1 minute and 21 seconds, 14 seconds ahead of Fiona Schroeder from Strong Girls. And right behind her, again from Spartan Obstacles, is Catherine. So good job, Karupe, on securing that segment number 5. So now that segment number 5 is done for the pack, they have about 4Ks to rest and recover until they start segment number 6, which is going to be 5Ks. 5-kilometer overall segment here, starting at kilometer number 19. And this is where we're going to start to see the elevation go up slightly. And we see on screen now we have Milena Valencia on the right side. She's just now getting ready to start segment number 5. And if she's going to make an attack, we should start to see that here pretty soon if she's going to try to steal this one away from Karupe, which wouldn't surprise me because she didn't do anything the last segment, number 4. She just kind of coasted through that one. So if she's going to steal this one, then I think she is well rested and ready to go. So she's now through the start gate of segment 5. Watts really aren't creeping up like she is going to go on a full attack for this one. Maybe she's just going to use a little bit more time for recovery. And maybe we can see her in the contention for segment number 6, the longer segment. But getting back to our front pack here, no real changes. The lead, of course, is going to change all the time because they are all so tightly grouped. But the one I think we need to look out for today is going to be Faye Faber. She put on an amazing showing at the TT stage, battling it out there with Jaira. She led that race almost wire to wire. And it was just at the end when Jaira got the victory from her. But she's in a good position for the yellow jersey for overall after the end of today's stage 6. So we're almost at the halfway point of the overall stage today, stage number 6. And this group of ladies up front has been doing a really good job working together, keeping each other in their sights. No real major moves yet. I think it's way too early to see any type of solo breakaways to claim the overall stage as of now. But I think this pack of ladies, we have 14 overall ladies now. We've had some drop out over the past few stages. If you don't complete the stages, of course, you are not allowed to continue on with the championship. So these 14 ladies are going to be battling it out to the end of segment 6. Which is going to be starting here in the next few kilometers. So we'll go ahead and let them sit in and check in at kilometer 19, which is going to be the start of segment 6. So now we're off and underway for segment 6, our first 5-kilometer segment of the day. This is going to be an interesting segment towards the end here because then it's going to start to get up into the more higher elevation. We have Mandana Dekan on an attack here. This may just be an attack to close her gap to the group there. That way she can get some draft assistance from some of her fellow riders here. Looks like she's on the attack there with Dorancy. But I think those are just efforts just to kind of rejoin the main pack here for this longer segment. They can kind of sit in and recover and save some energy so they can go for an attack later on. Having a look again at the course map for today's stage 6, we are now, of course, across the start line for segment 6. And you can start to see the elevation is going to start creeping up on their way to the start of segment 7 and ending the day with quite a punchy climb there at the end with a max elevation of 437 meters. Right now, currently, they're at 133 meters above sea level. Relatively flat, but it is going to be some false flats. They're going to be going a little up and down roller coaster style all the way until the end of the stage, and then it's going to start to get up into the mountains. We can see on the right side of our screen, Sophia Estrada, she's dropped back away from the pack a little bit, but this also might be to go full TT style for segment 6. We're going to have to wait and see when she gets across the line what her tactics are going to be. Watts are increasing now up into the 300 range. And start of segment 6 for Sophia Estrada, pushing over 330 watts, almost 40 kilometers per hour here. 86 RPM, so she has a little bit higher cadence here, so she's not pushing a real strong gear. But still, those are very, very high watts at the start of the segment, higher than we've seen from the main pack so far. If she can keep this up for at least half or 3/4 of this segment, then she could easily be in the top 3 at the end of segment 6. You can see the main pack of girls on the left side of the screen. They're only in the 200 watt range. They're more in pack riding right now, almost as if they're out for a Sunday cruise. But some of those girls in that pack are in contention for the yellow jersey, so they need to play a really smart race and save some energy for the end of stage 6 today. Sophia Estrada, though, still kicking off 300 watts, really giving it 40 kilometers per hour. Watts per kilo at one point were over 6. Now she's in the 5 watts per kilo, so she's putting out some really good power and efforts right now in hopes of securing this segment 6. We're also going to have to take a look back at Melina Valencia soon. She's going to be crossing the start line for segment 6. It's about 400 meters out from her. So it might be between Melina Valencia and Sophia Estrada that try to take segment 6 overall. So now approaching the start of segment 6 from Melina Valencia, you can see her watts are starting to creep up into the 200s. She was cruising in the mid 100 back there a little bit. We'll see if she starts to put on an attack. And yes, she does, creeping up as well into the 300s. 400 watts now, 41 kilometers per hour. She's putting on a great early attack. So it is going to be between these two ladies, I feel, for the overall stage or the overall segment win today. Sophia Estrada slowing down ever so slightly, but not much, still pushing over 330 watts. And it's going to be about who can sustain these high numbers, these high watt numbers for a longer period of time at this point. But right now, they are pretty much equal. They're both putting out very strong efforts. They're both in the drops, out of the saddle, putting out an amazing effort so far from both of these ladies. So far, Sophia Estrada has been the most consistent one out of the two. She's been over 300 watts, maintaining that, no problem. And we're going to see what else she can do. And you can see the main pack on the right side of the screen now. They're approaching the end of segment 6 here pretty soon. Ends at the 24 kilometer mark, so just under 800 meters away. And they're still pushing around 220, 250 watts. So even if one of these ladies start to make a late attack for this segment win, I don't think that they will be in contention for securing the overall segment victory. Sofia Estrada, though, still pumping away. She's in full time trial mode right now. Also switching over to Melina Valencia. She is also in TT mode. She's creeping up into the 400 watt range there for a little bit. Her speed slowing down slightly, but she is on a slight incline, so that's to be expected. Still pumping out 350 watts, 4.4 watts per kilo. And Sofia Estrada now just under 2 kilometers to go to the end of segment 6. She's not slowing down much at all. Still pumping over 300 watts there. Looking good, Sofia. And Melina Valencia trying to push really hard as well to try to keep up with her. They can see each other's data on the timing screen on the left side, on the right side of the screen. They're right next to each other, so they can see who's doing what. And this is going to be a good segment 6 finish for these two ladies. So our main pack has gone through the finish of segment 6. I don't think it's worth looking at the results as of just yet because there was no real major attacks there. Looked like Dorancy started to go off the front a little bit, but I think it may have been a little too late. Madonna Decan so far with a time of, sorry, the numbers are a little too small for me to see on the screen. There we go. Madonna Decan so far in first place for segment 6 with 8 minutes and 12 seconds, followed by Dorancy, 8 minutes and 13 seconds. But like I said, these results are pretty much going to be mixed up because of Sofia Estrada and Melina Valencia. Sofia Estrada now on the left side of our screen, still in the 300 watt range, looking very comfortable. She hasn't dropped out at all, as well as Melina Valencia. They're very much in their threshold now, and they're actually able to maintain it, which is really nice to see. Sofia Estrada is just 500 meters away from the finish of segment 6. I'm pretty sure we'll see her name pop up to the top of the list on the timesheet. Melina Valencia has a couple kilometers to go yet. But she is not slowing down at all. Really good efforts from both these ladies. So now the finish line's in sight for Sofia Estrada. Just 200 meters to go now. And she's going to give it a good push. Well up into the threshold, into the VO2 zone now. 41 kilometers per hour. 5.5 watts per kilo as she's going to come across the line here. And we'll have a look at the timing screen. And of course, Sofia Estrada, our individual rider, taking a total time of 7 minutes and 35 seconds, 36 seconds faster than Madonna Decan. That's to be expected. As we saw that main pack, they weren't really doing any crazy moves to try to secure the overall segment 6. They all want to get to the finish line together today and battle it out for the stage win here today. Of course, Melina Valencia, just 1,100 meters to go for her. Well, a kilometer to go now. Not slowing down at all either. We're going to see if she can kind of steal that away from Sofia Estrada. The main pack, they're going to start segment 7 here pretty soon at kilometer 27. So they're just inside of a kilometer to start the last segment of the day. But I don't think we'll see any major moves from any of the ladies until probably the last 2Ks of today's stage. Melina Valencia now, just 500 meters to go until she crosses a line, pumping out major watts now. Answering back to Sofia Estrada, putting out over 437 watts, 43 Ks per hour, well into her threshold zone now, getting at maximum effort. This was more effort than we saw Sofia Estrada give it at the end of her stage, or at the end of her segment. So now she has the segment end in her sights. She's still pumping out over 400 watts, 5.3 watts per kilo. Really, really good effort from you, Melina Valencia. Almost there, still pushing out 460 watts. Insane effort by Melina Valencia. And now she's through, and we'll have a look at our overall timing to see where she landed. And she did it with a total time of 7 minutes and 24 seconds, claiming segment 6 victory over Sofia Estrada, putting 11 seconds on Sofia Estrada. Both great efforts by Sofia and Melina today. But congratulations, Melina Valencia, on taking the first 5K segment. I do believe you deserve a really nice cool down after that amazing effort. So now our main pack through the start of segment 7. No crazy high watts yet. Everybody still is sticking together. Like I said, most of the girls in this pack here are really trying to secure good overall standing positions and fighting for the yellow jersey. Of course, it can still be anybody's stage today. All the women up here have been strong this entire championship. We have Lisa Bromell up there, Kimberly Miller, Faye Faber, Fiona Schroeder. All of these women, Madonna Decan, they all really know how to ride MyWhoosh, and they really know the dynamics of the game. So I think we'll let them sit in, let them do their thing a little bit. Let Sofia and Melina Valencia kind of recover, and we'll go ahead and take a break, and we'll come back after a few kilometers. So now we're approaching the 30K mark. There's going to be 2 kilometers left to the end of segment 7. Just about 5 kilometers left for the stage overall today. And these top 10 women that we have on screen now, one of them is going to be the victor of stage 6 and have a really good position for the overall standings of the Winter Solstice Championship. Sofia Estrada on the right side there, Melinda Valencia in the back. They're not really doing anything crazy. They're going to be fully in cool down mode. We might see them launch an attack for the last segment, for segment 7, but they've just put out a real hard effort. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're just going to kind of coast through today's stage and be well and refreshed, ready for tomorrow's last and final stage. So now just inside 2Ks to go to the segment 7. And I do think it'll be one of the women here in the pack that is going to take the segment victory. There's been no strong attacks just yet from anybody following up from the back. So we're going to have to go ahead and see who's going to make the attacks coming up soon and who's going to claim segment number 7. So now just 1K to go to the end of segment 7. We can see all the ladies, all their avatars are out of the saddle, which means they're pumping out some good watts, but of course they are going uphill now. So that's to be expected. Pushing good watts now in the 360 range. Up into the 400s now with Faye Faber. She's really pushing hard up this climb. And off the front of the pack, we have Mandana Dekan, followed by Lisa Bromel. These 5 ladies here off the front of the pack. I think they're just really sticking together, getting over these climbs. Nobody wants to be dropped. We're well within the 5K to go to close out the end of stage 6. So all these ladies just need to hang on to each other. And I think that's what we're seeing there. Now they've come down to a little bit more of a flat spot of the course. They're just going to kind of rest and chill. But they're all really on the edge, ready to answer any attack from any of their fellow riders here. Now we're going to have a nice little steep incline. We'll see the watt numbers start to climb up again, I'm sure. Yeah, and at the front, you can see it's Lowe's and Madonna Dekan. They're trying to get through this last mountain stage. 500 meters to go to the end of segment number 7. Everybody's pushing now well up into the 400 watt range. Karube tried launching a little attack there that was answered by Lisa and Catherine from Switzerland. They're all now riding above 270 meters above sea level. And as soon as they come around this corner, they're going to be going up a little higher. It's kind of the tough thing about these stages where they end with the climbs. If you lose yourself trying to grab segment wins, you might not have enough gas left in the tank to be real competitive in the climbing stage of the overall race here. Sorry, just trying to look back at some data here. Faye Faber has fell off a little bit from the main pack. But she's not too far out. She's still in a good spot. So coming through checkpoint number 7, we have 2 girls from Spartan Obstacles that come through, 1, 2, and 2 from Team Strong Girls, it looks like. And then you also have Karupe there. But for Strong Girls, it's going to be Mandana Dakan so far. Total time of 9 minutes and 30 seconds and just 0.001 behind Spartan Obstacles Karupe, followed by 0.8 seconds behind Spartan Obstacles of Catherine Frew from Switzerland. So yeah, all these girls, as you can see by the times, they're all riding in a really nice tight pack. But so far, congratulations to Mandana Dakan. I think she will secure that victory. Don't really see any attacks from the back of the pack like we've seen before. So I hope for Mandana, she has secured that segment 7 victory and 250 USD. So now within the last few kilometers of today's segment 6 for the women's race, they're still climbing up and up, as you can see on screen. And I think pretty soon is where we'll start to see some attacks being launched. So far, we've seen some really good teamwork from all the ladies today in that main group, all working very well together. We have a small pack led by Elisa Brommel from Germany, followed by Karupe. Just 2 seconds back there. They're trying to make some distance on themselves, I feel. Get some distance between them and the rest of the pack. Those top 4 ladies, they've put quite a good gap between themselves and the rest. Over 12 seconds, it looks like, as of now. So if they can keep that up, then one of these 4 ladies at the front of the pack will take the overall stage win for today's race. So now we can start to see some big efforts being handed out here on the climb, pushing over 400 watts. Hard to tell if they're actually going to start going for it now, if they're all going to start to launch little mini attacks. But these 3 girls at the front, Lowe's, Mandana, and Lisa Brommel, they are ready to go and battle out for the overall win of stage 6. So now they have exactly 1K to go to the overall end of today's stage number 6. And off the front, it is Lowe's putting out a really strong effort now, creeping up into the 400 watt range soon, I'm sure. She's put a 4-second gap on herself and Mandana Dakan and Lisa Brommel. She's putting out a really good showing here. And it's really interesting to see Faye Faber. She's not up into this pack right now. She's actually dropped back quite a ways, 33 seconds from the front, or now it's 29. I don't think there's enough distance left in this stage for her to close that gap up. But all she really needs to do is finish in a good overall placement today, be in good contention for the yellow jersey, and she can really battle it out for tomorrow's last and final stage. And Lowe's on screen now, really pumping up the watts, going full attack mode. She's put almost 10 seconds between herself and this little chase pack here from Strong Girls, being Lisa Bromwell and Mandana Dekan. Just 400 meters now to go. And I think if these two ladies on our screen really work together, they could easily close that gap. But there's the finish line in sight now for Lowe's. She can see it. And they have a nice little downhill section, so she's going to probably really crank it up here now. Such a good mental motivator when you see the finish line and you're the first one approaching it. She's got a nice bit of free energy there from the course. She's in a real comfortable spot. She's not attacking too hard. She knows she's going to come across that line first. Now she's getting up into the high 300s. Nice little sprint efforts here. And there we have our overall winner for the stage 6. Lowe's from Spartan Obstacles with a total time of 1:02:32. And she is going to be followed up here by Mandana and Lisa Bromwell from Strong Girls. Congratulations, Lowe's, on winning stage 6. And in the 4th position, we have Karupe for Spartan Obstacles. This last little bit of course here is pretty tough. All the girls are pretty spent after the last little climbs, and this may not seem like a very big incline, but when you're so tired, even the smallest hill hurts really bad. And we can start to see that now as some of the ladies start to cross the line. So 5th place from Spartan Obstacle, Catherine from Switzerland. So now they have 3 Spartan Obstacle teammates in the top 5. Just really good showing for them so far, as you can see on screen. A lot of pink on screen. Only 2 red jerseys from Strong Girls, being Mandana and Lisa. And now Faye Faber coming in for Strong Girls in the 7th position. Followed by Fiona, also from Strong Girls out of Germany. And Dorancy for Las Colombias. In 9th position. And it looks like it'll be this woman, Kimberly Miller from Germany, who's going to round out our top 10. So for tomorrow, the last and final stage, stage 7, again, it's going to be another 35-kilometer course, but this time, a pretty hilly course. Regular elevation around 400 meters, and they're going to end at 530. We, of course, have our 7 segments that are back, 5 of which that are 1 kilometer and 2 that are going to be 5-kilometer stages. And this is going to be this is the last and final race that everybody has to get their overall classification. So I think tomorrow's going to be a really good race, and it's really going to showcase who our climbers are within this pack. We'll see who dropped out. Hopefully none of our ladies have dropped out tomorrow. We have 14 ladies competing for the overall classification. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for stage 6, and we'll see you all back here tomorrow for stage 7.